Hello everyone, hope you're having an excellent day today. I'm doing pretty good. Welcome to another episode of Mark's Mock Review. We have a ton of amazing mocks to check out, but before we do that, I'd like to invite anyone who wants to have their mock featured on this series to go ahead and send me an email. I'd love to feature your LEGO mock on a video like this. Let's dive into the awesome mocks. The first mock that we had to feature is from Adelene. Let's read the email. Hi Mark, I just wanted to submit my build here. I originally built this purely because I wanted to have a build to display my D&D CMF series minifigures. It's the most complete build I've ever made and I want to show it off. I have no social media, so I'm posting this entirely for the fun of it. I hope everyone enjoys. Absolutely, Adeline. Thank you so much for sending this one in. The D&D CMF minifigures are some of the best ever made, and you've created a wonderful little world for them to enjoy. You've got multiple layers going on here. You've got a nice little river or lake that this small town is situated on the side of. You've got a little bit of landscaping that looks nice with those plants and flowers. You've got multiple buildings, each with detailed interiors, I will add. You've also got like a kind of mysterious looking underground area, maybe like sort of a cave or a basement of a building. Yeah, and all the D&D figures and the Wolfpack Beastmaster look great in this scene. I'm particularly enjoying the color blocking on the building on the left. You've got that very clear level of medium nougat for the main part of the building, and then you've got a very nice dark gray roof on top. It's very distinct and I like it. Yeah, and there's like a dozen figures, all with different adventures and stories going on here, so great stuff, Adeline. Thank you so much for sending this one in. Moving right along, we've got another castle-themed mock here from Lucas. Lucas has an Instagram, it's Rose Flyer Bricks. The email also states that there's a part 2 in progress coming soon. And oh my gosh, we have a very interesting roof on the first picture here. On the right side, you can see this, the detailed kind of gold dragon scroll print on the tiled roof. And that piece used to be extremely hard to find. It was several dollars on Bricklink at one point. And I think it is now a little bit more commonly available. I think it was in the Viking Village, so you could buy this online probably from LEGO's Pick-a-Brick system. But that's just mind-blowing to an older AFOL who remembers having one or two, and he paid a pretty high price for them back in the day. So a very interesting roof choice there. I love it. You've got a bunch of castle figures all around the walls of this big fortress too. I like the landscape outside. You got a nice gatehouse, some towers. Ooh, and some foresters sneaking in the back. That's great. But with such a large garrison, they're probably in for a tough time if they do get in. You can see a lot of details on the inside of the castle too. You've got supplies, troops lined up, probably practicing drills, a couple buildings. Yeah, very nice, Lucas. And the email also says that this is their first ever large mock. They've been working on it for a very long time, so great job. Looking forward to part 2 eventually. The third mock we want to talk about today is from our good friend Adam, who you can find at alpha_wolf325 on Instagram. Speed reading through the email, Adam says that this bioluminescent terror was a submission for a contest on Bionicle Amino. That was apparently many years ago, but it's still a great build to talk about. The lore behind this particular creature is that during the day, the big fish swims around the dark depths using its bioluminescence to hunt, and at night it can come a little bit close to the surface, and that bioluminescence also activates when it's dark. And you've got some really fun pieces being used in this giant fish Bionicle mock. The big Gadunka head piece at the front is, I love to see that piece used. It's a very big, unusual, and distinct LEGO element, but it looks great here, especially with those gnarly teeth. You've got a bunch of other elements like these spikes and other glow-in-the-dark pieces mixed in here. Some nice fins to give it a real fish aquatic look. Yeah, a really cool mock from Adam amongst all the other cool mocks that Adam has submitted to the series. Thanks a bunch for sending it in, man. We've got another castle creation to talk about, this time from Manu in Sydney. Let's read the email. Hi Mark, Manu here in Sydney. Big fan of your work and your channel. I've just seen your latest episode sharing other people's mocks and wanted to share my latest build with you. This is my Sorcerer Tower inspired by the D&D minifig series from last year. Let me know what you think. I don't have any social media where I've been posting any LEGO yet. I was waiting for some more finished projects like this one. Thank you for the inspiration. Your videos are really well made. Well, thank you so much for the kind words, Manu. I really appreciate it. And this Sorcerer's Tower looks epic. I'm immediately drawn to the very dynamic lighting effects that you have at different stories. Also, different colors for different windows. Pretty cool look. It's great to see another build in this very episode that was inspired by the D&D CMFs. Just goes to show how great those figures were and how inspirational it was to people who enjoy this fantasy castle vibe. Yeah, this is a very impressive tower. I like the fact that you've got a nice little landscape, you've got the lighting going on, you've got the gray section in the middle with the nice little side tower. How cool is that, an architectural feature? On the top, you have what looks like an evil edition. You got the black and the red lights. You can see the D&D CMF figure in there working on their dark magic with their skulls and scrolls and stuff. Great stuff, Manu. Appreciate you sending it in. We've of course got more MOCs to cover. The next one is from JSIC. Let's quickly read the email. Hi, hope you will like it. My Instagram, SoSoHanes. Got a link there, very nice. I'm sending you pictures of 3 of my MOCs, Fantasy Cottage, Watchtower, and Hidden Cave. All the best. Yes, we have a variety of amazing castle creations here. Normally, I like to feature one build from one builder per episode, but they kind of go together. In fact, I think one of the pictures is a collage of multiple builds. So we're gonna break our usual system and feature all 3 today. Let's check them out. The first picture also features some D&D CMFs going on here. Terrific stuff. You've got a nice babbling brook, a tree, and a really well-achieved building in the background. Look at the textural detail on that wall and those arches being turned on their sides for the window frames. Very nice. I also like the really subtle texture on the roof with the blue and greens. Yeah, a very nice scene, a very high level of detail, and great textures all around. The next MOC is a watchtower, and I'm definitely getting some Eastern European vibes with the shape of the roof and the way that the wooden exterior is constructed. It looks great. You've got some nice red and green vines on the side there. I like that arch above the door. You've also got some old school figures on the outside with those dark gray helmets. That's a bit of a throwback there, I like it. Final picture shows a kind of landscape and cave scene. You've got the big tree in the center with a variety of colors of leaves. You've got some more D&D figures going exploring for some awesome loot down below. I like the rocks, the slopes being all used on their sides. Looks very nice. Yeah, a great scene. Again, I think this is the 3rd MOC that we've seen that features the D&D CMFs heavily, and I'm loving it. Thanks for sending these in, JSIC. Don't forget to check him out on Instagram if you have a minute. Moving on to the next creation, we have an email from Nimble Saucepan here. Let's check it out. Hi Mark, I'm a relatively new fan to your channel, but can say that I've been really binge watching and really enjoying your castle and fantasy builds. I'm working on my own Lego medieval village, which is called Bluestone, using original Lego sets, but also adding my own stuff. My main target is storytelling. Here is my medieval bakery. I'll also add a link to my YouTube channel to watch the story behind it. My Instagram is @Nimble_Saucepan. And my YouTube is Nimble Saucepan. Many thanks, Nimble. Well, Nimble Saucepan, first of all, love the name. I believe I've seen Nimble Saucepan on a live stream or 2, so thank you for tuning into those if I'm correct in thinking that's the same name. It's a pretty memorable name. I feel like I've seen them before. But let's talk about the build here. We've got a very nice little bakery over here next to a big windmill. What's immediately catching my attention is the road, the path in front of the building. You've got a lot of dark blue round 1x1 tiles used for the pavement. I think it looks pretty cool. It makes a lot of sense why the village would be called Bluestone if they have an abundance of actual blue stones in the cobbles of the streets. On the side of the bakery, you've got some wheat, a little tiny wheat field. I can understand not having a gigantic wheat field, as both those tan bars and those tan axle/pin pieces can be hard to track down in large quantities because of this exact technique looking so good. But I like the inclusion. Definitely gives you the vibe of a bakery if they have the materials needed nearby. You've got the different inhabitants of Bluestone getting their baked goods from the baker, and probably the baker's assistant there perhaps. A very cool build, Nimble Saucepan. Thank you so much for sending it in. And don't forget to check out Nimble Saucepan on YouTube especially, because the video showcases the entire village, which is very fun to see. We've had a bunch of MOCs featuring kind of medieval fantasy castle vibes, and this one is, I guess, kind of in that same genre. It's from a MOC builder named Charlie Spinardi, whom I've had the privilege of seeing their work before. But let's read the email really quick. Hi Mark, I have another MOC I wanted to share with you for your MOC review videos. This is Dio Deacto, a dragonborn warrior king. I did not design him for Dungeons & Dragons, but I don't really know what else to call an anthropomorphic dragon man other than a dragonborn. After accumulating a surplus of pearl gold pieces, I wanted to make a character with lots of gold accessories, similar to Xerxes from 300. I just made Dio a dragon because of the association between dragons, gold, and greed. Anyway, if you want to see more of my work, I have the following social media pages. There's a link to the Kara page and Rebreakable for Charlie. Well, thank you so much for sending this one in, Charlie. Good to see your work once again. And I appreciate the extra context and lore behind this character because it is a unusual and striking build. You've You've got a very large sculptural character with all these different textural details. Look at that action pose there, that's quite something. This is a very flexible, posable creature. I like the choice to use dark red as the color of the dragon's skin, but all those gold accessories really catch a lot of attention too, especially the Ninjago pieces, which have the kind of elaborate, ornate shapes to them. Very nice sculpting for the torso, face, the limbs. It's all coming together very nicely here. I know Charlie's made some other very interesting, large, sculpted characters as well, so go check them out on Kara and Rebrickable. Moving right along, we've got another mock from our good friend Henry. Hi, Henry here again. Decided to take pictures of my small blue coat Lagoon. Inspired by the official sets, but combined in my own way. In this scene, the pirates have banded together with a couple Armada guys to free their friends from the Bluecoats. Well, appreciate you sending this one in, Henry. We've got a great scene featuring the Bluecoats, but also a bunch of pirates and the Spaniards Armada figures as well. The first thing I'm seeing in this first picture, though, is the white dolphin over there in the water. That's such a cool piece, and it's just, plunked in there as a little side thing, but I love it. I like the architectural details on the Bluecoat fort as well. You've got a nice little window there, arches, corners, textures, and an abundance of foliage outside. A little bridge going over the creek. It looks really cool. Yeah, and there's the whole view. You got the Bluecoat flags happening. The Bluecoats aren't quite fully aware they're under attack yet, it seems like, but they will be soon enough once the pirates come kicking down the door. Yeah, you've got multiple prisons, which is probably why the Bluecoats are under attack, because they've got so many pirates captured inside. Great stuff, Henry. Thank you so much for sending it. Always cool to see more of your awesome LEGO universe in your build space. Moving on to the next creation, we've got one from Malachi. Let's read the email. Hello, Mark. My name is Malachi. You reviewed one of my mocks in your first video. I really appreciate the opportunity and the feedback you gave. Here is my newest mock. It is a first order vault. The goal of this mock was to challenge myself with building sloped walls. I built some custom blue crates that hold gems and other valuables. The first order is moving into the vault. I would love any feedback you have. Thanks again, Malachi. Well, good to hear from you again, Malachi. Nice to see another Star Wars build from you here. Let's check it out. Yep, you've got the First Order guys transporting some very nice space-style blue crates. I like those very much. I like the color choice there. You've got a sleek Star Wars base behind them, and I really admire your goals here, Malachi, because as you go throughout your mock journey, the more things you can try to challenge yourself to try something new, to stretch your building abilities is a really good idea. So great job trying something new that you haven't done before. I like the angled walls. You got multiple going on in this scene. I like the little bits of foliage outside too. Looks nice. Yeah, there's a better shot from above. You can see all the textural details. Star Wars buildings tend to look very industrial, and the little bits of texture are one of the main ways you can bring more detail to an otherwise gray structure. Malachi, I did want a little bit of feedback. I don't have too much to add to this build as I'm not really a big Star Wars builder, but I would say the one thing I would do differently in this creation is just a little bit of change to the surface of the terrain outside. There's nothing wrong with the dark orange. I think it looks very nice, but maybe just a few more tiles sprinkled in here and there would look good, kind of break it up just a tiny bit. But that's about it. Thank you so much for sending it in, Malachi. It's good to see it. This next build we have to feature is another castle-inspired build. Man, this has been a great video for castle mocks, I tell you what. Let's read the email here. Hello, Mark. How is it going? I would like to submit my mock for review. I appreciate your time and consideration. Thanks. Lewis. Well, Lewis, thank you for sending this mock in. Appreciate you. We've got a really fun Forester hideout mock here. It's built on some ruins, but there's plants and tree houses all over the place. I like the sort of organized chaos that this scene is comprised of. This seems like a very ancient castle ruins that the Foresters have taken over and are rebuilding in their own style. I like to see all those plants in a mock for sure. I also like the different layers and the design. Great stuff, Lewis. Thank you so much for sending it in. The next creation we want to talk about is from Luke. Let's read the email really quickly. Hi, Mark. My name is Luke, and I love your videos. You have been a huge inspiration for me as a mock builder, inspiring me to make these creations, and I can't wait to see your completed Helldivers mock. Well, thank you for the kind words, Luke. I'm glad I was able to help inspire you to make some of your own builds. Let's take a look at them here. It's worth noting that there are a couple different builds here, but they're all fairly compact and they all go together very nicely, so we're going to feature them all together as a group. The first mock is yet another great castle creation. We've got a little fortification building here in the background. You've got a fire pit out front, which I think is a very nice touch. A little bit of a tree and bushes on the sides, and a knight riding up. You've got some sloped terrain happening there too. I like the textures that are going on throughout the scene. Great to see more castle mocks. Moving right along, we've got another MOC that is castle themed. This time, it's not the good knights, it's the bad guys. You've got Basil the Batlord sitting up on his fortress here, burning trees in the foreground. I like that detail a lot. You've got bones and lava beneath the interesting texture for the walls. I like that kind of inverted diamond shape for the wall there. And of course, Luke has gone to the trouble of putting some lights in that lava, which looks great. The third MOC we want to talk about from Luke is, of course, Helldivers, which explains why he would be so interested in seeing me finish mine. It will happen eventually, Luke, don't worry. You've got a lone Helldiver defending a position against what looks like an automaton Hulk there. You've got explosions happening in the foreground. That red laser at the back is directing what looks like a gigantic bomb hovering just above the picture, about to incinerate everything. Great to see another Helldivers MOC, Luke. I really like the different layers and details you've got going on in this small scene. It makes me want to finish my own Helldivers MOC sooner rather than later. All right, we have blazed through a number of amazing creations, but we have one more email to look at, so let's read it really quick. Dear Mark, I hope you're doing great. I've been following your channel for a long time and just wanted to say your work has truly inspired me. In fact, your videos were one of the reasons I started my own large-scale LEGO stop-motion project, and you're even credited in the films and titles as a creative influence. That's awesome, very cool. When I saw your recent call for MOC submissions, I knew I had to reach out. I'd love to share 2 special builds with you, both created as full-size sets for my stop-motion film, 1758. The Battle of Luderberg, 1758, British versus French forces on German soil based on a real historical event. And Portsmouth Harbor, a fictionalized scene inspired by 18th century Portsmouth, England. Both MOCs were built on custom tables of approximately 1 by 1.8 meters and are featured throughout the film. The project took over a year and hundreds of hours of work from building to editing. I'd be honored if you considered featuring one or both of these MOCs in your format with a link to the film if possible. Feel free to use short clips of the film as well if that's helpful and fits your review, and I'd honestly just be thrilled if you recommended giving the stop motion a watch. Here's the film, a link to the film there. Thank you for the amazing content you create for the community, and whether or not my MOCs make it in your video, I'll definitely keep watching your work with excitement. All the best, Janik, Empire Brick Productions. Well, thank you, Janik, for sending these 2 in. Because they're so large and detailed, I'm just going to feature the first one, the battle scene. We'll probably cover Portsmouth on the next video. Before I get too into the details of this huge build, I want to say how timely this is to see this in my inbox, because I just was working on and finished a smaller blue coat versus red coat scene for, resolving the age-old debate of who's better. That will hopefully be on a 12-hour build video of its own soon. But this is really cool to see. You've got a large battle scene with a very detailed, I believe, printed background behind it. It looks terrific. You can see the camera rig below where you're capturing that stop motion in the scene. This must have been pretty difficult with those trees right there to pose all those figures and move those troops all in sequence. A Herculean task, but the video looks awesome. There's a shot of the battle itself. You got a large collection of blue coats, sizable collection of red coats too, although they are a little bit outnumbered in this situation. Yeah, there's something incredibly satisfying about seeing a large LEGO battle scene, and you've captured it very well here, Janik. I would highly recommend you check out the video on Janik's channel, Empire Brick Productions. For younger viewers though, there is a bit of intense violence, so keep that in mind. It's still an extremely enjoyable watch though, so check it out if you're able. And cool to see a bunch of castle and D&D inspired builds, but also a bunch of blue coat and red coat inspired builds. Both Henry and you were able to submit those. Seeing multiple builds featuring blue coats and red coats was very exciting and very inspirational as I worked on my own, so thank you guys for sending them in. Well, I think that's about all we can cover for today, but thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. Thank you to all the talented MOC builders who took some time out of their day to send me a picture of their creation. And if you're interested in being featured on a video like this, the email is right there. Go ahead and send me some pictures of your LEGO MOC. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.